Once we get an order through for a Whopper, it will come up on this screen here. And we have our buns just here. So what we do when it comes up is just take one and put it in the toaster.
McDonald says every burger is made with 100% pure beef. But what if that phrase doesn't mean what you think? The truth lies in massive frozen boxes, pre-cooked patties, and a cocktail of flavor additives that legally passes beef but change everything about it. Once you see what really gets served, you'll question every pure claim you've ever trusted. So why are lawsuits piling up? And what do insiders say about this secret process? Stick around, because the answer is not what McDonald's wants you to hear. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. What does it mean when a box stamped 100% pure beef gives off the smell of preservatives instead of grilled meat? Most people picture a cook dropping a handful of freshly ground beef onto a hot plate, hearing the sizzle, and seasoning it with nothing more than salt and pepper.
You can tailor it. And that means that we're able to take this out, take that out, add that in. And that slows things down. So their system is built to try to make that as quick as possible.
So in contrast to all the other fast food chains that already had a footfall in the UK, be it Wimpy's, McDonald's, KFC, the idea was that you could customize your burger. And
that's the expectation behind the phrase. It suggests simplicity, a straight path from cow to kitchen to customer. But the smell coming from those boxes tells another story. A story of factory processing, stabilizers, and engineered flavor. The bright, reassuring label hides a very different process. Instead of raw beef shaped into patties at the restaurant, what often arrives is a stack of discs sealed in plastic, already cooked once in industrial ovens, and then frozen hard to preserve shelf life. By the time they're thawed and reheated, they carry an oily sheen and a rubbery texture. Nothing like the juice that comes from meat freshly pressed against hot metal. Customers never see those steps because the illusion is complete by the time it reaches the tray. At McDonald's, the system depends on consistency above all. To achieve that, they don't just use plain ground beef. Salt, natural flavors, and small amounts of binding ingredients are mixed in to compensate for what is lost when meat is cooked long before it's served. The additives aren't designed to shock the customer, but instead to simulate the natural beefiness that disappears in factory ovens. Every bite is engineered to taste close enough to what people think of as beef while still working with a supply chain that moves millions of patties across the world.
It does get quite tedious for the kitchen staff because they're always like in a constant flow, and like a customized burger, they have to concentrate more and make sure they do it correctly.
If you think about Burger King as a brand, I bet you the first thing that comes into your head is flames everywhere, because that is what they major on. So visually they major on it, taste in their restaurants they major on it, everything that they talk about themselves as a brand is all about being flame grilled.
Burger King sells the image of flame and smoke, but the trick isn't what people assume. Instead of open fire at every restaurant, the patties are often stamped with grill marks long before they ever leave the supplier. A dose of liquid smoke adds the charred flavor and keeps the taste profile uniform. Filler proteins, often sourced from less desirable cuts, bulk up the mix and make it cheaper to produce. What looks like a flame-broiled patty pulled fresh off an open grill is frequently a product stamped in flavor to mimic that experience.
I think Burger King is delicious but underrated.
It's good food. I always get my belly full in there.
I think the Whopper is such a golden asset for Burger King. As a product, it's probably one of the best known across all of the quick service outlets.
One of the ways that the Whopper stands out against its main rival, the Big Mac, is it is, to give it credit, a whopping great big bit of beef.
Wendy's markets confidence through its fresh, never frozen slogan. On the surface, that sets them apart, but the reality is mixed. Their patties may not be shipped as rock-hard frozen blocks, but the meat is made from a blend of trimmings collected from various sources. Those scraps, combined into one patty, don't produce the same authenticity their slogan suggests. Instead, it's a logistical solution that keeps costs under control and ensures supply doesn't run dry, while consumers believe they're getting unaltered quality. Former workers have described the deliveries in detail, pointing out how the boxes arrive shrink-wrapped, vacuum-sealed, and carrying more of a metallic or chemical scent than the inviting aroma of a butcher's counter. The bags are built for efficiency, not freshness. Restaurants rip them open, stack the patties into freezers or coolers, and keep moving. By the time the patties touch the grill surface, they don't resemble the fresh beef image plastered across advertisements. The marketing language has even drawn legal challenges. Various lawsuits and investigations have argued that the phrase 100% beef can be technically true while still hiding the kind of processing most people would never expect.
It's a Pepsi to McDonald's Coke. It's an Avis. We try harder.
They always show a Burger King being eaten with two hands because they want it to look bigger than its competitors. The Whopper is literally in your face at every single touch point. Whenever you visit a Burger King store, whenever you see anything in their ads, everything shouts and screams Whopper at you.
Regulators often decide that as long as the primary component is beef and no non-beef proteins replace it, the companies can keep using the claim. But additives, flavorings, and factory cooking still change the product in significant ways. The result is a patty that may check the right legal box, but diverges sharply from public expectation of unprocessed beef. What this really shows is how broad the gap has become between marketing and reality. A patty may fit the definition of beef inside a regulation handbook, yet come out of a process that strips away the qualities people expect when they hear those words. Processing and additives leave something that is far from the image of ground chuck sizzling on a pan. And this isn't limited to one chain. The hidden steps inside fast food supply chains belong to a larger trend shaping how meat is sold and how consumer trust slowly erodes with each reveal. 100% beef sounds straightforward, but it's a phrase designed inside rulebooks, not kitchens. Industrial cooking, freezing, and additives change the patty long before it reaches the grill, and yet the label remains untouched. That's why trust in advertising cannot replace awareness. Before taking claims at face value, ask what processes those words are hiding. Questioning them doesn't just protect expectations, it protects health. Fast food giants shape the story, but consumers decide whether to accept it. Pay attention to the language on menus and packaging. Staying informed is the only way not to be misled.